Welcome to the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast that cuts through the bullcrap and gets to the core of what players need to know. I'm your host, Egnards, joined by the embodiment of my seasonal allergies, Fat Phillip. Are you looking for raid news tonight? Well, tough shit. We are stuck hoarding for this foreseeable future. Strap in, because this is Zeta Protocol. Fuck. God damn. You know, this is the first time that I've had to redo an intro because for some reason I can't say the word foreseeable. And it's fine. We're going with it. I don't care. I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Phil makes lots of mistakes. Philip, how are you tonight?
Three of my mistakes are upstairs sleeping. No, uh,
One day they're
no,
going to
we're
watch
good. We're
this.
good. Yeah. No, I mean, almost was gonna say, during the intro, I was gonna be like, "Oh, second time's the charm," but I thought it would like fuck you up again. So I was like, "Yeah, we're just not gonna."
I would have kept it if there was something funny in there. Um, I
Ah,
have upsetting news for tonight. I have to go for a blood test tomorrow, and it's nothing
Ooh.
concerning, but I went for a blood test in February, and my doctor said that I have low cortisol, and I need to go see an endocrinologist. And so I went to go see an endocrinologist last week because it takes 5 months to get an appointment when things hit the fan.
Yep.
And the endocrinologist said to me, I don't think you have low cortisol. I know that your test says you do, but I don't think you do. And it turns out what she believes is that I wake up so ungodly early in the morning that by the time I got my blood test taken at 10 in the morning, my natural cortisol levels went down, which means that I have to wake up at 7 in the morning tomorrow to go get a blood test right when they open. And why that's pertinent to tonight is I am very concerned about drinking and then going right to sleep and not metabolizing any of this and having really fucked up blood tests in the morning. So I have to do this sober. I am nursing water tonight, and we're gonna just see if we can get through it.
Oh, I would be so fucked if I did that for some of my like. Thank God my tests for work have all been like, okay, are you a cocaine addict? Like that's basically what it is. Like it's not like
It's
not
not like
testing for
it's not
alcohol.
for
Thank
health.
God.
Well,
Yeah,
I went for one
yeah.
when I was in like my early 20s, and they tell you, I was maybe 23 at the time, and they always tell you like fast for 8 hours. And being 23, I said to myself, okay, 8 hours, 8 a.m. blood test. I have to stop drinking at midnight because, of course, I'm
Yeah.
going to go out the night before. So I went
Oh,
out
of
the night
course.
before. I drank. I had like chicken wings and like nachos, and I stopped around 11 p.m. And I got my blood test done the next morning. And like 2 days later, my doctor called me in a panic, like, your triglyceride levels are off the fucking charts. You are maybe actively dying right now. Um, so I've learned that 8 hour thing is like maybe fast a little bit longer. So we're gonna be good today.
I
We're gonna try.
I whenever I have to do I get like a my work for if you get like a biometric screening where they do like the height, the weight, all that bullshit. I get like $500 for me and my wife off of our like insurance for the
Okay.
year.
Yeah.
And the one every year they do it, it just gets worse for me. It's a kind of a problem. But I'm still probably one of like the top 1% healthy people at the company. It just, for me it's gotten worse. But uh the one time I did it and I was at a plant and we have to wear like the steel toe boots when you're at the plant, and they're not comfortable, but two,
Hmm.
they significantly add to how tall I am. And so they're like, "Oh, you're 5'11," and I took a picture of like the piece of paper and sent it to my wife. I'm
Look
like
at how tall I am.
5'11. Like this is the greatest day of my life.
I'm so tall. Look,
Yeah.
Ma, I'm not a short king anymore. How tall are you?
Yes. Well, I 5'9" on a good day is what I normally say.
Okay, so look at that. We're twinning. There we
Yeah,
go.
I'm not it. It's always kind of funny because it was like I was really short for a while. Like everybody else, like I went through my height came late.
Yeah.
So I was like 4'11" in like 7th grade.
Hmm.
And then just kind of, I forget what summer it was, but just started to slowly get taller.
So it was
And
like sophomore year, everybody was beating you up, and then 2 months later, you came back and you were like, "What were you saying, motherfucker?" And everyone backed off.
yeah, it was never like that. I was
No, not that
'cause I
bad.
was running cross country and track. There's no kicking ass. Like I was, I look like I couldn't fight my way out of a wet paper bag.
I was a beanstalk. I could have
Yeah.
tried, but it didn't. It wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
Um, we have a little bit of news from last week. Last week, I gave you some shit about your milk drinking habits in college,
Mhm.
and that seemed to have resonated with people. There are a lot of adults who believe that I'm wrong about milk, and that's a first for me. It's really interesting. We do have a Discord member who you may know because he is prevalent in a lot of the communities, Con Warlock, who has been
Yep.
drinking a glass of milk every single day for the last 12 days and posting a picture of it on Discord. I don't know how far he's going with this, but I guess to prove a point, I don't know what the point is, but it's really funny to me. But you have, just so you know, you have some solidarity there. You have fans.
Well, I'd say my wife does. I don't drink milk.
Okay, sorry. Your wife has some fans. I
Yeah.
apologize.
I literally made her second glass of chocolate milk before I came down.
Okay. Forgive me if I tune out everything you say, and then once I go off to bed, I've completely forgotten it, and
Oh,
I
you're good.
subsist on like the comments, and I'm like, oh shit, I did say that last night. Okay, I mean, it's fine. Now,
But yes.
yeah, we have
I was
we
Go
have no
ahead.
news.
Go ahead.
We have nothing interesting. We have another day. I actually thought, I don't know if you were on Discord. Today was my last day of school, and I got home early today, and I was like, oh, great. I'm going to be home for the update. I'm going to be able to set the notes for Zeta Protocol early. The update came out late. Meathead was like, oh, it's going to be delayed. I actually thought, hey, this is a great thing. A delayed update means something big. It means like they have actual news to share with us, but they're like finalizing details. So I was kind of annoyed that I wasn't going to be home at the time, but I was also super excited that we have something to talk about. And it turns out that there isn't much. Our update is basically the same update that we have been getting for the last 6-8 weeks. What do we have here? We have Dedra is farmable on a dark side node. Captain Athano is
Shout out. Hey,
accelerated.
shout out. It's not a Cantina
It's
node.
not a it's
It's
not a
not a
Cantina
new
node.
Cantina node.
That's I looked. I
Um,
did check after I hit dismiss
that does.
on the mail and I said, "Oh shit." I did go and check. So that is a big deal.
I will say, on the note of those of us who are peasants and have to farm, that now makes how many? Is it 9? Right? 6th anniversary.
Mhm.
Even Zuckus and Forlom too, right? Like it's how many characters since we've had a fleet energy farm?
It has been a while since a fleet energy farm, but like almost every pirate was a fleet energy farm.
Was it? I'm trying to now I'm gonna
There was
look,
like
but
I
like
think it was
it
4 out of 6 of them ended up being fleet energy farms, and they
but
just
it
kept
is it
going.
just was something that I've been clocking a bit where I was like, yeah, 'cause Silvo's Cantina,
Hmm.
Vane is Cantina, Brutus is fleet, Etano is fleet, Quiggled is fleet, and Kix is regular.
Okay, so 3 out of the 6 of them were fleets.
Yes. So we did get a bunch kind of in one go,
Hmm.
but since those characters, which are getting closer to, I think, what, Atano's now accelerated, you said,
He
right?
just became accelerated as of today. Yep.
So you figure in a year, we've not it's been 2 fleet nodes and however many hard nodes.
Would you
And
prefer a fleet node?
I think I would prefer one from the baseline of, like, energy that
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
I don't do like, I just, and again, I'm still farming it, I'm not doing any refreshes, but I don't wanna have to spend 50 crystals on regular energy to
Yeah.
continue to farm characters. That's
I
my barometer.
I guess as an end game player, because there's a lot of people still farming pirates, but I guess as an end game casual spender, you're done with Hondo. So like, yeah, you're past that. You don't have any fleet farms anymore, and there would be that need to balance out your energy. Whereas somebody who's maybe a little bit more behind has a lot more fleet nodes to catch up on.
Yes, yeah. Like, I recognize my situation is different than other people, and that's why I would
Hmm.
prefer a fleet node. But I do see it where you're placing a much greater emphasis on these new characters. You're trying to get everybody into the era content, trying to get them into Maul, trying to get them into Cassian, this, New Republic nonsense that's coming. If you put everybody in that regular energy, put every and or fleet energy or cantina, you suffocate the player base and make it that much more challenging to complete the farm because you're spread so thin. So that's, looking at it that from a trying to catch up, yeah, it's probably nice that it's all in, say, regular, and then you can
Hmm.
still use fleet for Hondo. But if you're trying to actually do those farms, it's
If you're
nicer to have
towards
them
the end.
spread out.
Yeah. As far as the bugs and adjustments, and I'm skipping Leia Jedi Training. We found out about that yesterday. We'll talk about that separately, obviously, but they're in the bugs. Bugs and adjustments. There's three things that stand out to me. One, two, I think it's three. The first being that IG90's TW Omicron was not granting ignore taunt effects when it was supposed to be. When Afra has more than
Yep.
50 stacks, so clearly that is a fix. The second
Which is
is that
really nice.
it is nice that it'll work correctly now. The second is that Fearless from Satil was not working as intended. Whenever an ally was losing Fearless, all other allies' immunity was also getting dispelled. So Satil is fixed, but her datacron is not fixed, which is not working properly because the taunt applied from the datacron is not counting as a taunt effect in the sense that it should be stopping enemy teams from doing specific things, and it's not doing that.
Yes, the turn meter removal.
Yes. And the third thing here, this is interesting, fixed an issue where Zeb special ability tactical reversal was missing a max health damage effect for raid bosses and percent health resistant enemies. So essentially, we know that we'd go into Coliseum, it would do literally nothing at all. That
Yep.
seemed to be because it was missing some sort of like it does a little bit of damage. So going forward in Coliseum, his third ability should do something, whether it's a lot or whether it's not. Actually, we can maybe see in game if
I
it
just
says it.
I just
Yep.
tested it. It was pitiful.
It does little damage, right? Yeah, of course. It's not supposed to be a lot. I'm curious if it
You're
says
better
it
off
in the
basicking.
kit. Let's see. Okay, but you're missing the fucking point, man.
I
Uh
get it. I'm making the case that it goes to the classic, like, you make this ability
yeah.
and put it in Coliseum, and it does
It does
sweet
fuck all.
fuck all.
The kit doesn't say anything. I was just curious if it said like on raid bosses it does this and on other characters it does this. Because that's
Yes.
the
Yeah.
the
That's the
tactical math
norm.
brain. Yes, usually it does say. But I guess it was just missing the invisible tags to say, hey, do something.
Yeah.
Nothing else really stands out for me in the bugs and adjustments. There is
Yeah.
one other thing that I did notice. It's not in the patch notes. I don't know if you paid attention to this, though. Did you happen to look at the Rada the Hutt journey guide?
I've heard rumblings that
Okay.
they did something with ability mats, but I
So,
haven't
yeah.
clocked it myself.
Okay. So, tier 4 and 5 still give a decent amount of stuff, gives era leveling currency, it gives era currencies up to I think level 5 in currencies for the tier 4. Tier 5 gives up to the level 5s as well. In the past, it gave some 6, some 7, some 8, enough really just for that character. It still gives you the Kyber Lightspeed tokens. But now at tier 6 and tier 7, there are actual rewards. There's no era currency, but
Yep.
there
Oh, I see.
are
Wow, holy moly.
relic materials. And those relic
That's
materials
just
for 7-star go all the way up to relic 9 material.
there, and not just Relic 9, they're giving you enough Relic 9 material to go to Relic 10.
Yes, enough. Yes, correct. So it doesn't give you the relic 10 material, but it gives you enough to get to relic 10 with the other materials, which is kind of
Correct.
nice.
And plenty of between the 6-star and the 7-star, you're getting plenty of Relic 8 materials as well.
Yes. So you're getting
Yeah,
the only thing that is annoying. So I'm in that weird case where I am getting them to 7-stars, right? It's not my money. I am getting there, but I am also trying to be efficient about it and making sure that my characters just get to where they need to be. And I was using the tier 4, the 4-star and the 5-star in order to get some tier 7 and tier 8 material. And I wouldn't
yep.
use it on the journey guide character. I'd use it on the other characters so I could spend less. That is no longer an option. Now
Yes.
you will have to buy all of the tier 7 and all of the tier 8. With that said, if we go over to the store and we look at the bundles in the store for tier 6 materials, it is $7 for the like special part. It is $5 for the not so special part. That's a lot cheaper than it was in the past, even combined.
Yep.
So I am wondering if this will be cheaper for the tier 7 and the tier 8 going forward, as if CG is trying to make journey guides more expensive than they were before eras, but less expensive than they were over the last 2 eras.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to I like again, I support the people who spend. I like this shift to give them more rewards.
Yeah.
I think for obviously for like you,
Hmm.
that's huge to get those extra materials, right? Like for where your account is. For somebody like user, maybe not as big of a deal to
Oh, he
get
doesn't care.
the extra. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's meaningless to him. But like we've talked off, podcast about stuff like this that for a new whale, those
Yeah.
materials are ridiculous. That's
It, mhm.
they're not even for the players like you to incentivize you to spend. It's, "Hey, you're just now getting into the game. Here's a significant advantage for the era spending that you're doing."
Yes.
That's the
So
way that's the way I see those rewards.
it's interesting because I have been seeing this a little differently lately as I've been trying to describe that new whale perspective. In the past, let's say before eras, if I wanted to get a journey guide character, you would spend, and let's say post Gungan, so post Jar Jar, you would spend about
Yep.
$120, $110 to $120 per character in order to get the journey guide up. And then, the relic materials weren't free, but if you were an end game player, it was basically free because you could save that stuff up. And what would you get for that? You would get a new team. and that's it. You'd get a new team. You could use them in GAC. They would fuck everybody in GAC. In the new era, I do have to spend more, and that sucks. And I am annoyed by that. And I think CG is trying to lower the prices a little bit to find the sweet spot. But on top of that, I'm getting the era battle, which is giving me materials back. And I'm also getting the era currency, which is giving me more materials on top of that. So while I am spending a little bit more, I am getting a lot more for it than I used to. I'm just in my head thinking, oh, I'm not, because I'm used to this one system. But I'm getting R10 materials, I'm getting R9 materials, I'm getting R8 materials from that store. Now, that said, I don't necessarily agree with the cost increase. I am annoyed with the cost increase, but I am getting a lot more than I was previously when I take into consideration everything that is part of that.
Yes. It's almost like some of the packs where the values say $20.
Yeah.
To a person who needs everything, that's a $20 pack.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't need the Zetas and the Omegas in it, then it's not a $20 pack to you. It's a $10 pack kind of thing.
Exactly.
That's the way
Yeah.
I'm hearing what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like the opposite of what I'm saying, but the same point. You know, it's like getting to the same answer, but in a different way, almost.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But I agree. It's like the Jawa scavenger packs that are like $10 and you get one of these things. And a lot of people say, hey, is this worth it? And I'd say, if you need everything, it's worth it. But for everything that you don't need, it becomes less worthwhile, because if you get that thing in your chance pack, you're fucked. You just lost $10 on nothing, on jack shit. You know?
Yes.
So more for the early game, not so much for the late game. But Rada will be coming to the game on Tuesday. I'm curious to see how he's going to do in Coliseum as a solo show, or with the team. I have no idea. We're going to see how he performs. It's not like we can use him in the actual Holotables. Did you get a chance to use Cobb Vanth yet?
No, I've not used Cobb Vanth. I have him on, spoiler for, my GAC opponent that's going to
In the back
bend
wall.
me over a barrel.
Mhm.
I have him on defense, just like
Okay.
let them figure it out.
Just to figure it out.
Yeah, I've saw Arnold testing him a little bit where it's like, oh, I could beat Hondo like without a datacron or whatever, and I'm like, okay, so he's probably going to be good, but
Mhm.
I haven't looked enough yet.
So I did most of my GAC before we started filming, and I did try Cobb Vanth against Hondo. Now, granted, my Cobb Vanth is slightly above average modded, and the rest of his team is like slightly below average modded. And my relic levels are fairly low. So relic 7 for Cobb Vanth, which is low in the end game. Relic 6 for all of the shit tiers. Relic 9 for Cup. And he did get beaten by Hondo. I got smacked around. But I can definitely see how, if I invest a little bit more in that team, how he will smack around Hondo teams. You know, I just needed just a little bit more damage on the Relic Delta, and I would have been pretty good.
Yeah, that's kind of I think it's a situation for me where I'm like, I want to wait to see the, like, I don't know. I don't want to open this massive can of worms, but like, I feel like with a lot of these more recent teams, they've been so amazing with the datacron, but then once the datacron goes away, they kind of just go, all right. And it sounds like Cobb is good because I know Conquest units are pretty good, but I'm
Cobb
like,
technically doesn't have a datacron yet, right? Like, he does in the set that
yes,
apparently technically came out tonight, and we'll briefly talk about it. But I do understand what you're saying, and that is why I only took Cobb to 7th, because 7 is basically the floor, right? If you're an end game, it's like, all right, just take it to 7. But I,
Yes.
I do think in the next week, I'll probably take him to 8 and the rest of his team to 7, just based on that loss and saying, oh, I get it. I do see how this will work. I just wasn't there yet.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the logic I've taken with a lot of these things is I've delayed relic levels until I really know what they do. Like I
Yeah.
just took Inquisitor Barris up to relic 8
Mm-hmm.
just because I was like, I'm getting a decent bit of use out of her in 5v5
So
because
she's
she
becoming
seems to
useful.
be, yeah, like she's like the 5th Inquisitor now, which is so funny because she's not supposed to work with that team, but she really does. And
CG likes
it's
to throw in that
stupid.
one clause that says, this can't happen. And then we go, hold my beer. And we're still going to do it. And it's still going to work.
And the other use for her is with Malicos, and she
Okay.
does some good things there. She can, I think the heal works for everybody there. But regardless, it's like I can figure out a way to use this character and I'm going to do it.
Interesting. I think mine is, I don't know, maybe Relic 2. Let's see. Let's find out. Quiz
She there's
Barris.
no
No, 7. Okay, I
she
do have
has
her
to
at
be
7.
higher. I was going to say cuz you did the era battle and you had to have gotten a
No.
decent.
No, so I did the era battle. Remember, they ended at Relic 2, and I did that era battle with Spider Maul at Relic 10,
But
and
I
all of
thought
the
she's
others.
in the light side one. I didn't think you could use Maul in the light side era
Correct.
battle.
And I was like shortchanging my relic levels as much as possible. But I guess I
Oh.
just checked. I did take her to 7 because I did bring the other ones just to relic 2, and I made it through. It did take a little bit of RNG and figuring out the battle and learning it. But I didn't want to spend any materials. I didn't want to spend any materials on that. Um, Raid news. Have you heard anything?
Yeah. I heard they released the raid news at the same time that they released all of the Kennedy files.
Yeah. So we
I'm
got no raid news. It
at
is
at this
June
point
24th. Yep.
I said it's almost in like before I would have said, "Oh, like for them it's we're not ready to share, and I think some of it was I think the era system has messed them up a little bit and not
Mhm.
like that era, but the new system of these in the game. Because I'm back to the Order 66 raid. And I think it has made me feel maybe a little better. Think about the teams you use in that raid,
Yeah.
right? Like I use Jedi Master Mace Windu,
Hmm.
Hondo, Maz, and I do the Clone Trooper split.
Okay.
None of those teams were free to play accessible at 7-star at the launch of that raid.
Right.
None of those teams were free to play accessible at the launch of that raid. They can't get away with that Order 66 type of release in the market today because you are like they can't say, "Oh, you're going to allow to use New Republic and like Imperial Remnant and you'll get, the characters one at a time." You're going to get 6 of them all at once or 7 with
Yeah.
the marquee unit or
Hmm.
the journey guide. So I kind of started to feel a little bit better where I was like, maybe the reason this is so delayed is because they realized they can't just, oh, you got a Tano, he's the leader. Right? Like you got a Tano
Yeah.
as the
Yeah. Yeah.
pirate leader until you had Maz. They can't do that shit because they're all going to enter Legacy at the same time. So I wondered if that fucked them up a little bit. And I also wonder if they fucked up with the whole, oh, we released the anniversary era, but we don't know how to make any of these characters accessible in a raid. Because they didn't, like, it clearly wasn't working in Coliseum. And even though they had all the tags, like the IG90 is like if Afra's in the lead, and then
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Barris is like second sister and ninth sister. you have Asajj that's like, if Boba Fett sign a Django is here, Luke is like, if rebels are under stealth, like you're like, all right, well, none of this shit works for any of you. Fuck off. I hate you all. So I think that also kind of set them back where they couldn't follow their normal pattern of only new characters. And so I think that's leading to the delay. But all of that to say, now it's become such a massive elephant in the room with the community
It really,
that
it really has.
you not addressing it looks so much worse
It's
than
tough because the last raid, I think it was July 4th weekend that it came out. It was like July 2nd.
yes.
And I had
Yeah.
made fun of them because I had said, like, they always release things during a holiday. They're like, here's this release, goodbye. We're gone for a week.
And
And there'll
and it's
always
like
be
a
bugs.
and it's like a Friday too. Like, or it was
Yes. Yeah,
Friday,
yeah.
so like the weekend would happen and you just fuck all. And then
Yeah, so it's one of those things where like you do a major release and it's supposed to be all hands on deck, right? You release on a Monday and you release it at 10 in the morning so everybody's around so that you can do it, and they never do it that way. It's always like, we're going on Christmas vacation for 2 months, have fun with whatever this is. But it was July 4th weekend, I think it was the 2nd that it was released, which means that we're just under a year. And now they said that the raids are going to last approximately a year, and that could be 14 months, and that's
yeah.
fine.
Yes.
But I do think that at this point, you do need to tell us something, because we are starving for some kind of news, some kind of like, hey, what is going on here? People are waiting. They want to know what to upgrade, where they should put their resources. And like, from the people that I talk to, a lot of those people are very frustrated right now because they feel like they do have to hoard. Like, they can't
Yes.
upgrade their rosters because they don't want to lose their raid box. So they are like, we need to make sure that I have my raid teams up as best as I possibly can right away. But week after week after week after week, we're not even getting like, oh, hey, expect a raid in a month. Like, I would have been happy with that today. If I just got the raid will be here in 6 weeks, nothing else, I would at least be like, okay, 6 weeks.
Or we haven't even gotten a character that says they will be in the raid, have we?
We got a character that
We've
says,
even-
hey, they're going to be GL requirements, but
Yes,
nothing that's
but
like, hey, these are for the raid.
Yes, like they used to say, they will be needed for an upcoming raid.
Mhm.
And that was great. Like, it doesn't I feel like it's almost like they're like, "Oh, if we don't tell people, like they're not going to figure." It's like the people who are going to spend are going to spend. I feel like this is a tried and true experiment at this point. You know who is and who is not going to spend on characters.
Yeah.
You telling us that kind of information just makes us feel like we're in the know.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't tell us anything. You didn't say like you didn't give us any kind of insight into the raid. You're just telling us the characters there. There's no harm in that. So yeah, I think that's been very frustrating for me. But
Yes.
I at least felt better when I was looking at the Order 66 raid and I was like, they can't realistically go quite like they did with that one because the era system won't allow it. There might be a team that's missing, but there won't be that many teams that are locked like they used to
Okay,
be.
so you are right in that it does change things, right? Because again, like Pirates, they weren't released in the beginning, and now they won't be able to. Once the raid starts, they literally cannot release for 3 months. So everything either has to be available or it has to be mid-era, where it's like, okay, in 4 weeks this is coming out. The one thing, though, that I do think that people are going to kind of take advantage of is assuming that the raid system is roughly the same. Because I do think it has to be fundamentally different because of the era system. Because of the way that relics work with Relic Delta, you could have a lower star character. You could have your 5-star characters and they're still at relics. So fundamentally, you can still get a minimum score of 3, 4, maybe even 5 million, depending on what the raid is, without being a spender right off of the bat. As
Yes.
long as
Yeah.
there's at least like one old team in there. So I don't know. I do think that there are going to have to be some fundamental changes, but I do definitely think that they 100% need to address it in some way. Even if it is to say, like in Order 66 with Naboo, they said, hey, we're having some trouble with the raid. We are delaying it by 2 months. I don't know if it was 2 months. It might have been a month. But they said, hey, we're delaying
Yeah.
this by a certain amount, by like a roughly this amount of time. So players could go, oh, all right, we know when to expect this raid. At least tell us that. Tell us, hey, something's going on and we're trying to figure it out and it might take us until the end of the summer. At least then I have an idea.
And I feel bad for the guilds. Like, I know my guild, we kind of got screwed by this a little bit in the Naboo raid, where we kind of had planned, all right, if the raid is 9 months long, by the time that we feel like we could get the max crate, we're not going to get a return or an
Yeah.
adequate return for the resources we would spend.
Yeah.
But then it went on for what, 3-4 months after that point.
Mm-hmm.
So we were stuck getting that second to last crate. I feel for those guilds who looked at the Order 66 raid and were like, all right, we're going to stop here because it's only going to last a year. If it continues on for a period of time,
They could have gone a little longer.
like they're missing out even more based off of, and again, I know they're always going to say subject to change, but for the crate raid, the speeder bike raid, you were like, it was like 6 to 9 months, and it was like 6. Like, it was like right on that 6
It was
months.
like
Like,
it was like right.
changing.
It was not that long. Yeah. It was short.
Yeah,
I think it was
like,
7
and again,
months between one of those raids, between crate and speeder bike. And we were like, wait, hold on, what? It's already done?
yeah, like I think it was I want to say speeder bike did not last long. And
No.
thank God, there's visually, thank God.
Visually,
But
I
I
didn't
did miss
watch the
just,
raid at all. I literally watched my keyboard. It was like Q, E, E, Q, E, E, Q, E. Like that's what I did. I did not watch my screen at all.
I think I legitimately played like 2 teams and then I pressed auto on everything else and it would score like just, like,
And it would, and yeah,
I
well,
do like
that was the nice thing about that raid. It was like you could score 100% by manualing or about 80% by autoing. And a lot of the times you're like, I just want to hit the auto button. I don't actually need to do this right now.
And the 100 would require you to have to remod certain characters for like certain stats that you're just like, this is not worth it. Like,
yeah, no, I never did that.
like
no,
like the Leia for Leia solo, I would, where you had to have like the crit avoidance arrow and then enough potency and there's all these random stats. It was ludicrous, guys. But that's like one of the few I would manually play to get the 100%. But otherwise, yeah, fuck it. Like just
one
auto.
thing I do want to say, because you kind of touched on this though, as an end game player, and I know you're an end game player as well. The last couple of raids, I was looking at it in the sense of like, okay, we're at this box and we're 6 months in, so stop investing. As we've become more and more into what Swugga considers the end game, with Rote now, with the phase or Relic 9 planets, I've been kind of shifting my perspective and less about just the return on investment from the raid, but also saying, okay, even if I don't get a return on investment from Jedi Vanguard because I invested in them too late, I am also on top of those rewards getting an R9 team for, Ring of Kafrene now. So there's a slight extra return on my investment because now I need those things that I didn't need 2 years ago, when R8 planets were important and nobody did Relic 9 planets. And that's just something to kind of keep in mind in the end game where you're looking at what teams to invest in, what teams to bring to R9. I am far more likely to bring teams to R9 now just because I need them to continue to participate in Rise of the Empire as well.
But so there's an interesting counterpoint to that, though, is like eventually you don't need any more teams.
Eventually we'll get there. Eventually. I'm almost there. I am almost there, but I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're probably closer than me. Like I
Hmm.
still need quite a few. But I've also kinda you bring up like it's, kind of proving your point at the same time. I'm like waiting for new teams that are worth bringing to Relic 9
Right. And that's why I brought the Cassian
or
team. I was like, oh, I get the Era Battle, which is not amazing return on investment wise, but I also get a new team for Rise of the Empire. So that's kind of
are
why I
they
jumped on that right away.
is that a TB Omicron required
Um,
or
I'm gonna be honest. I find them to be middle of the road in TB. I have
oh
found them
great.
even with the Omicron to be half and half on Ring of Kafrine. I started
Oof.
using them on Vandor, and I've had a little bit more success on Vandor with them, but I haven't done it enough times to say, oh yeah, they're really useful here. Um, so I am a little disappointed, whereas like Jedi Vanguard, that team, you hit auto and Depa's Omicron is like, no, you're not losing. I think I've lost
Yeah.
once with that Omicron. And it is nice. Um,
Did I
yeah,
did I tell you I equipped the Merrick Omicron?
finally.
I broke down and I did it.
Do you like watch it? Like, have you watched it and been like, wow, this is great. This fucks.
Well, I did try it on the shorty mission with Inquisitors without ops, and it
Okay.
didn't go so well.
Yeah, I
Now
mean,
I
Haven does not go very well without ops unless you're Hondo or Lord Vader.
and so I didn't know if it was just like I was gonna ask you like, do I just suck, or is it one where like that's not gonna work? Because I did it with the Inquisitors too. I was like, oh, that should work, and it
Yeah.
just didn't melt them like I thought it would. Um, which
Without
is fine.
ops,
I mean, yeah, without ops
other
on
than
shorty.
Lord Vader and Hondo, I try to wait for at least 2 of 4 on my ops. I've never tried my Inquisitors there with no ops, just because that first couple of turns you just get hit so hard.
Yeah, it's stupid. I mean, my guild, our first day of Haven, there's no ops.
Is
That's
none.
why I
Yeah,
tried it.
we go down to
Yeah.
4 of 6. I think it's just a very offensive based Omicron that if you're not taking turns, you're just going to get yourself beat down. You have to be able to take those turns right off of the bat with it. Other
But I
than
might
that,
try
it's
it
amazing.
on I was like, I'd love to try it on like Vandor,
It'll probably work on Vander. My
be
whole team isn't R9 yet.
but I at the same time, like Vandor's open the same day as the special mission, so I'm like, I need to figure some stuff out. I need to move some teams
You gotta
around. But I was like,
twerk yeah, your teams.
yeah,
Uh,
but
the
I was
the
like, oh,
other the other point
we'll
of
get there.
the other point of news for tonight, we were going to talk about Grogu and the Anzellans,
The
um,
Timu Ewoks.
the Timu Ewoks, and I told you earlier today I had already sent the episode title to Moonborn, which was Grogu ampersand Bob, Kevin, and Stewart as like a minions thing, and then the GL Leia kit came out last night, and I wasn't sure if we should touch on it or talk about it. And I know you wanted to talk about it, so we shifted it over. I do think it's the more important kit,
Yeah, I would
the
agree.
GL Leia kit. I normally don't care about conquest units this early because we're not going to see anything from this for another 3 months. But I read it last night. I skimmed it last night, and it is at least interesting. Do you have any? Did you read the kit yet?
Yeah, I
You have.
saw it and I had to read. I was like, I have to read this. Like,
Okay.
I would say,
What are your initial thoughts
because
without getting into specifics? Because we have to read it,
yeah,
obviously.
um, one, I'm curious where you think Jedi Master Luke will move in the power rankings
Okay.
with her Omicrons equipped and then without, because that's a big thing. Is how much the Omicrons play a role in her. I think they're GAC Omicrons if I'm
They are
remembering.
They are
And I was
GAC
thinking of
Omicrons.
like Ben Solo is like a Rey lifter, but
Hmm.
really only in GAC. In Territory Wars, it's kind of a mild annoyance,
Yeah.
but GAC obviously far much more of a lifter. Um, but I like that overall it's feeding into what I felt were some of the weakest parts of Jedi Master Luke's kit. That I
Okay.
think there's maybe one aspect of his kit I think there's one or two things
Hmm.
that I was hoping a Jedi Master Luke lifter would bring that they did not. But overall, I think this is a they covered their bases.
Before we read it, again, I only skimmed it last night. One thing that I did notice about this kit is that a lot of her abilities are like, let's take her basic ability. It'll be like, does damage one time if Jedi Master Luke is the leader. And then there'll be like a paragraph. And that seems
Yes.
to be her whole
Yeah.
kit. It's like, hits opponent twice if Jedi Master Luke is the leader. Here's a fucking novel.
Yeah.
It seems like other kits are kind of, other lifter kits are kind of like hinting that they're a lifter for a character. They're like, no, 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 you kind of want him here. Leia Jedi Training seems to be like hard coded as glued to Jedi Master Luke. Like, no, there's nothing. Don't even try it. It doesn't even make sense. She literally sucks without him. If you don't have Jedi Master Luke, but you get Leia, don't even gear her. It makes no sense. You know, like Ben, they kind of coded in. Oh, any Ray in the leader slot. If you don't have Ray, you could use Jedi Training Ray, and maybe it'll work. Here, it's like, no, you have to have Jedi Master Luke, or you're shitting the bed. You suck.
Yeah. I mean I think they learned from Ezra probably that they need to be a little more specific. Um Probably a lesson. I'd say for them, maybe more of a hard-earned lesson,
Okay.
but a necessary one that you have created such a complex game where we are going to take every bit of a kit and read it and figure out
And
it.
then
And again,
find.
we being the people, the other people
Yeah.
that exist that Theorycraft,
Hmm.
they're going to pick it apart, figure out how it works in some niche way to exploit it
To figure it
completely,
like
and
really.
yeah.
And they're just gonna throw it.
Um,
I feel like somebody's gonna be funny and just throw it with Ray during that first week,
yeah,
like knowing they're gonna lose because clearly
yeah,
her
but
kit cannot do jack shit without Jedi Master Luke. But just to be funny, they're gonna be like, let me just throw Jedi like Ray, Leia in there and see what happens. Um, I had the EA post up, but I remember that sometimes the spacing isn't great on there, so we're gonna read the kit from in game because she is in game now. Um,
yep.
the model in game, honestly, it definitely
Is the
looks.
spacing in game two?
Is that what?
Is the spacing in the kit in game?
So the spacing is always in game. The kit wise, like there's always like the paragraphing. Remember, we fell into
Oh,
that trap with a different kit. So
I was using I was using GG. That's why I was check. I had GG pulled
okay,
up for the spacing, but
okay,
it looks like it's the same.
it's the same thing. Yeah. All right. So do you want to read it? You want me to read it? What are we doing here?
I'll read it.
All right. Look at this. Finally, he does something.
Ta 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 ta.
Today, Junior.
Tactical strike, basic. Deal physical damage to target enemy twice. If Jedi Master Luke, going forward, we're just going to say JML. We're not reading that every time. Is in the ally leader slot. If the target enemy has speed equal to or higher than Leia, she gains Jedi lessons for 3 turns, max 3 stacks. If target has speed lower than Leia, she deals another instance of damage for each time this ability is used in battle, max 3. If it's not her turn, she gains 15% defense pen stacking for 1 turn. This attack can't be countered. Whew. Christ alive, that's a lot of if statements.
So if she's in the alley, if the target enemy has speed equal, and this isn't predicated on whether it's her turn or not. So like the coin can call this very quickly, right? The granted
Yes. Yeah.
ability? The granted ability can,
Yeah.
you're 1, 2, 3 done. You're hitting, doing that many instances of damage very, very quickly.
Yes. And depending on the speed, you'll gain more Jedi lessons, which are important later, or deal additional damage.
And if it's
And the
not her turn,
defense
she
pen,
gains the defense pen, which is just, you do this 3 times, you're going to be hitting a lot of defense pen because it's still not going to be your turn. Unless, obviously, because you do get TM.
yes.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
But that's also like you think any kind of other assist call, like a Grandmaster's training
Mm-hmm.
or Jedi Knight Luke using
His
his
middle
middle
special.
ability,
Mm-hmm.
those are going to count for this in terms of the damage or Jedi lessons.
Yes. Okay.
Next is Instinct of the Force. This is a 3-turn cooldown, and it has a Zeta. And the basic is an Omega. I thought I'd reference those. Deal physical damage to target enemy twice, dealing 25% bonus damage, max 200%. For each stack of Jedi lessons gained by Jedi allies in this battle, which
Okay.
can't be evaded. So that's counting everybody's Jedi lessons, which I think 25 max 200. So I think in what? It's a
It's
max
8.
of
It's
3
8.
stacks of Jedi.
Yes. There's a
Yeah, it's a
max of 3
max of 3
stacks. Yes.
stacks per character. So in 3v3 you can still get the maximum because it'll cap at 200 where you'd hit 225.
Yes.
So yeah, I was just checking. I'm like, does it matter? You still can hit that max whether it's 3v3 or 5v5. Um,
But I
inflict
think you're going to
off
hit that
balance on.
anyway. You're going to hit that anyway because, like Inquisitors, it's the way the Inquisitor kits say Purge. It's like if Purge is less than max, then add a stack of Purge. But that doesn't
Yeah,
say it here with Jedi Lessons. So when you have Jedi Lessons at 3 stacks, can't you still get another stack even though it'll be at 3? It'll just reset.
yeah, and it would just
It'll
yes,
just
yeah. So I
reset the
think even then
turns.
you would, yeah,
So
yes,
you'd
you are
still
right.
be able to get that.
Yeah. Okay, next you're gonna inflict off balance on target for 2 turns, which can't be resisted, but it can be evaded. Reduce the cooldown of the final lesson by 1 for each critical hit scored.
Okay.
If JML is in the ally leader slot, if target is inflicted with ability block, buff immunity, or daze, which can be dispelled, dispel them, inflict ability block, buff immunity, and daze for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled or resisted. If they are not inflicted with those debuffs, increase cooldowns by 2. Jedi allies gain foresight for 2 turns.
Okay. So if they
Wow.
have them, it makes them locked for 1 turn. If they
Correct.
don't have them, their cooldowns are going up.
Yeah.
And you get
And
foresight.
I'd argue you want the cooldown increase and the foresight, but
I would much rather the cooldown increase 100%, but it's still nice that it can't be dispelled if you do happen to have those things.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
Which again, I mean, that's leading right into JML's basic, which inflicts buff immunity. The ability block is on his AoE, and then the daze is on his 1 assist that
Yeah.
gives you Jedi lessons. So like all of those are things that are going to be happening very frequently on a JML team.
Yes.
Next is the final lesson. This is a special. It is a 4-turn cooldown, and it has an Omicron for Grand Arena. Deal physical damage to target enemy. Jedi allies gain 50% offense for 1 turn. Now, it's interesting. They say Jedi allies, so I'm assuming that's counting her.
Yes. If it doesn't say
Because it
other
doesn't say,
Jedi allies, then yes.
yeah, but it doesn't say all. Normally they specify all or other, and here it's just allies. That's the only thing I'm picking up.
I think it's going to be her as well.
Yeah. Jedi allies protection recovery is increased by 10%, and all enemies protection recovery is reduced by 10% for each time this ability is used until the end of battle.
Okay.
Woof. Oh, that's rough.
Okay, now my thought right now is JML lead, 3 other Jedi, and Watt comes back in with tank tech. Think about that tank tech.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I'm wondering if there's going to be something that will.
I'm just going off of what we read so far.
Yeah,
just going off of what's read so far. There's nothing that says all allies have to be Jedi. And
yes, there's other parts of JML's kit that would break, but yeah, so far I think you're on.
But JML's kit, remember, in the past we used to put him with Watt too, and it used to be a bitch and a half. You would do Bastille lead with JML and throw Watt in there, and you'd be invulnerable except specifically C, but you'd have to like run the battle for 4 minutes on auto basic.
Or Kylo. Kylo also worked.
Or Kylo. But it was a pain in the ass, is the point.
Yeah, it was a miserable battle. It was a miserable battle. But yeah, auto basic for like 4 minutes, press alt, and then hope to God.
And then hope that you killed him. Hope.
Yeah. God, could you imagine? I'm just thinking that now with Relic Delta, how fucking annoying that would be. Like a Relic 10 JML, and you're just like, God, like just.
I'm telling you, unless there is something in this specific kit that negates that, Watt is being thrown in that team. Because Watt doesn't have a home right now.
No,
he's kind of like thrown around. Okay, so the rest of it.
If JML is in the ally leader slot, he gains 10% ultimate charge and an additional 10% ultimate charge per stack of Jedi lessons Leia has. Remove 100% turn meter from target enemy, which can't be resisted.
Okay.
Holla fucking Lula. How fucking long has it been that we've been screaming to make JML's ultimate charge faster?
Charge faster.
Jesus wept, this is amazing. Oh, this is awesome. That is a ridiculous amount of ultimate charge you're going to get.
It's going to be very quick.
Because it should be, you're going to want this to be one of the first, this is probably going to be the first ability she uses.
Of course. And before you use this, you're going to use Tactical Strike just by proxy of coin. You're going to throw coins at her, and she's going to get TM. So she's going to have Jedi lessons. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Deal additional effects based on target enemy's roll. Attackers dispel all buffs on target enemy and inflict offense down for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled or resisted. That's lovely. Healers and supports dispel all debuffs on Leia, inflict healing immunity for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled or resisted. That's also lovely. Tanks call all other Jedi allies to assist and inflict defense down for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled or resisted. All of that is lovely.
Yeah.
All of that is lovely. The can't be dispelled or resisted on those debuffs makes this so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're completely neutralizing the character that you're going after. Like I'm thinking of an attacker on like a Hondo team. They're stranded.
Their offense is down. Yes, and the healing for the healers and defense down for tanks. Yes. You've basically fucked them.
Awesome. Now, the Omicron is for Grand Arena, like I said earlier. If JML is in the leader ally slot, deal an additional instance of damage to all enemies based on Jedi Master Luke's max protection and dispel all debuffs on Jedi allies.
Okay. Sounds nice in theory. I mean, I know we could probably go into .gg to look at the actuals of it. But without doing that, it sounds nice in theory, depending on how much damage it does. You know, are we talking about like 100% of his max protection? Are we talking about 5% of his max protection?
Yeah, it does not say.
It doesn't say, but like in .gg, you can go into the actual source code, and it's a pain to
Oh, and
read
see
through
the
and see what the multipliers are. I don't necessarily think it's worth doing right now, but it is something to say, hey, this does
damage.
look cool.
It says, so I don't know if this is the way it works. It says tier 2 damage multiplier 2, and then it's 2 for, yeah, I don't know if that's the right thing or not.
That's why I don't want to
Someone
look, is
smarter than me can,
because
yes,
people who know how to read that
someone
shit.
smarter than me will figure it out.
Correct. That's pretty
All
much
right.
a low bar, but sure.
Okay. Next, we have the Unchosen Path. This has a Zeta and an Omicron.
Mm-hmm.
At the start of battle, Leia has minus 50 speed. Whenever she attacks at a turn, she gains a stack of force connection, and Jedi Master Luke gains 10% max protection, stacking to 100
That's going to happen
until the
so
end of
quickly.
battle. Leia gains 50 speed whenever she gains a stack of Jedi lessons, stacking max 150. If Jedi Master Luke is in the ally leader slot, Leia's attacks critically hit if possible. When JML uses heroic stand, revive all Jedi allies with 100% health and protection, grant them Jedi legacy until the end of battle, and Jedi allies recover 100% health and protection.
Okay.
I just want to pause there and say that is lovely. This is very lovely. While in GAC, if JML is in the ally leader slot, enemies defeated by Jedi allies can't be revived. Whenever a Jedi ally is dazed or stunned, a random Jedi attacker gains a bonus turn. At the end of each ally's turn, if JML has 100% ultimate charge, he takes a bonus turn once per battle. Fucking hell, I
So
love
he
that
auto
last
ults.
sentence. Thank God. Because how many times have you been sitting there with your JML ult
And you're just
and you
waiting.
can't use it? Yeah. And I know that's a situation with Sith Eternal as well. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's a bunch of GLs where that's a big problem. But I'd say with JML, it's arguably one of the worst because of that dispel when he enters that ability.
Yeah, which
Like, he dispels all
refreshes
your
your whole
debuffs.
team.
Yes. And now you're reviving people. Yeah. Holy
You
hell.
basically start the battle fresh at that point.
Yes. But not just fresh. You've got Jedi Legacy, which is 100% mastery.
Yes. Okay. So beautiful.
So,
Very nice.
yeah.
And honestly, this kit so far is not as brutally long as I anticipated. Even with some of this stuff, which I'm pleasantly surprised about.
Leia has 100% defense. Oh, Disciple of the Force, Zeta Omicron. Leia has 100% defense. If JML is in the ally leader slot, Jedi allies have 100% max protection until the first time Leia is defeated.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Love it.
When a Jedi ally damages an enemy, that ally recovers 10% protection. At the start of each Jedi ally's turn, Jedi Master Luke gains 5% ultimate charge. That counts himself. Whenever a Jedi ally uses inherited teachings for the first time, they gain a bonus turn.
Nice. So there's going to be a
So-
lot of very quick turns going on in the beginning of the battle.
So before we even get to the Omicron here, your first turn with JML, you're going to use inherited teachings.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to and you're going to call Leia to assist.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
you're going to do the magic hand trick and call Leia to assist. And you're going to be cooking at that point.
And every single one of your allies. So Jedi Knight Luke is going to call Leia to assist, and then he's going to stun everybody, right? Like every single one of your allies is going to do the call and then do the thing that they need to do. Correct.
While Jedi Master Luke is while in GAC,
Mhm.
while JML is taunting, Jedi allies take reduced damage from percent health damage effects, and whenever a non-tank Jedi ally is damaged twice consecutively, that ally gains stealth for 1 turn. If JML is the only ally version of Luke present, whenever JML uses They Grow Beyond, he inflicts protection disruption on target enemy for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled, evaded, or resisted. Whenever he uses a flux, he stuns all enemies for 1 turn. Wow.
Yes. So clearly a really nice kit, right? Beautiful kit. Obviously married to JML here, and I understand the irony there, them being brother and sister, but they are kind of conjoined at the hip. This is definitely going. This is definitely going to lift the team. Um, as I was thinking, as you were reading it, I was thinking of like the teams that maybe it's still gonna have trouble with. Um, on the one hand, there's some like anti-stun mechanics, and there is a lot of stun on Leia's team, but Leia's team also can't have its cooldowns increased. So I'm a little curious about that team and how these two are going to interact. The Leia team versus JML,
I
which
feel like
which could be interesting.
I feel like the thing with the against Leia though was the revives, right? Like again, I know the ultimate and other
Hmm.
things
Hmm.
were, but there's an argument to be had here that with your JML, one, everybody who and I fought somebody recently that had this where they don't have the JML ultimate equipped because they think
Hmm.
it's useless.
Yep.
I know there's people out there that exist. Now you all have to equip it. Sucks to suck. Haha. Welcome to the rest of us, idiots. But also, there comes a point where do you really want to just hold on to that for the revive against a team like Leia where she
Yeah.
would
Yeah. Yeah.
delete everybody? Do you just hold on to it in case that I know it sounds
I
crazy.
do think that there is going to be a case for playing different matches in terms of like some GLs have like short ult and long ult. And this
Yeah,
almost becomes a short ult, long ult situation here, where it's do you use it right away or do you wait until that's your oh shit button? Yes, I understand
yeah.
what you're saying there. I definitely understand what you're saying there. I am
You were
wondering.
spot on, by the way, with
Mhm.
your Watt Tambor. There's nothing that calls
There's
out.
nothing stopping that. Wat
They need
Tambor
to.
is going to live here.
I'm going to put it out here now, so that way, you can all come at me for saying this.
Hmm.
Capital Games, please, for the love of God, add some all Jedi
Unless
allies.
they change
Let's.
something, right?
We need to get
Because
ahead of we need to get ahead of this because
that
you're
med
right.
pack, 5% health and protection at the start of every character's turn, and he is going to have 100%
No,
max.
you're gonna you have to give him the tank tech. He
Yes, I
has
know.
to be
Isn't
taunting.
that the tank tech or is it the shield generator? Oh no, it's the shield generator. At the start of turn,
Yeah,
recover 30% protection and dispel own debuffs. You're correct. I was
yeah.
reading the wrong one. He's gonna have 100% protection from
But you're gonna
Leia.
give Leia the blast tech
Mhm, to take those turns.
for
Correct.
15% turn meter. Yeah, fuck's sake.
You're gonna be, yes, it's going to be lethal with Wat Tambor on that team. It is going to be nasty.
Yes.
It's going to be sick. It's going to be scary. I'm wondering if this is going to bring Seabane to prominence because
So
there's still the matter of C being anti-Jedi, and I don't know if C
yes,
by himself is going to take on this team, but Bane,
but with Bane,
yeah.
you're getting you can because Bane you'll link up. I mean, you're always gonna link up JML in that
Hmm.
battle for
Yep.
the fast ult. but then you're gonna link up Leia.
Hmm.
At that point, Bane's gonna take his bonus turn already and increase everybody's cooldown. So you guys are already kind of screwed.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, you're gonna strip away all of JML's protection, and once that's done,
I think
that
CG
battle's
was like,
basically over.
"Oh, Bane is not a good lifter for C. Hold my fucking beer. Now you need."
So, you know what's funny? I don't know if you should check my GEC history and you'd see this. I almost exclusively use C Bane
So I
at this
don't,
point.
but I do see a lot of people using C-Bane. And I think that what happens, and I was talking about this a few days ago, is that information gets out and people start parroting it. And then something changes, but people keep parroting that same information. And it's kind of the same with JML and his ult, right? Like the reason some people didn't get his ult was because way back when you used Jedi Knight Revan lead. So his ult
Yeah.
was literally useless to most people. And now people still do say, like, oh, his ult sucks. It's useless. It doesn't do anything. It's very useful, if not just to refresh the cooldown on a mass fucking stun. Um,
Or
but people
and
still say it because of that time.
I think I think 2 was that was back when there was JML and Sith Eternal released on the same day.
Yes.
And Sith Eternal's ultimate was so superior to JML's that everybody was like, "Don't equip JML's ult if you got him, save it for C." That you
Yes,
would
but
I
part of
don't know.
it was like Jedi Knight Revan was a de facto lead, right? Because Jedi Knight Revan had the revive, or the savior, not
Yes.
really a revive, and it didn't make sense. It made sense to have Jedi Knight Revan in the lead slot because he could revive anybody, and that's how strong Jedi Knight Revan's lead was at that time in the game, which made it
You
so
had to
it was basically impossible to ult unless you were in Lightside TB, because in Lightside TB you could stall a battle long enough to get to that full ult charge.
whoever I want to know if you ever if somebody ever did that
I did.
because I salute
I've done
dude,
it.
god
I've
damn.
done it. You could
I
do it.
never that's something I can say I never did. I never was at that point in my life.
Never have I ever gotten a JML ult while Jedi
Yeah,
Knight
when
Revan
he's
lead.
not
Damn.
yeah.
Drink.
But that was also the funniest thing with the Jedi Knight Revan lead was that in a mirror match, if you had the slower JML, you had to run Revan lead for the tenacity up to avoid the ability
To avoid,
blocks.
yeah. Yeah. The other thing here that I think is interesting with this kit with with Jedi Leia Jedi Training, I know a lot of people are really annoyed by the third Omicron, because that second half says if any other Luke is present in the team, then the rest of the Omicron doesn't work, and then you miss out on the protection disruption and you miss out on the mass stun. And they're like, why would you fucking do that and take Jedi Knight Luke off the team? I don't. Jedi Knight Luke's not coming off of that team. I don't think that that's strong enough for that. The reason that is there, the reason that that clause to take it out is there, is because CG doesn't want a 2-turn mass stun and another alternate 4-turn mass stun all on the same team. So they have to kind of balance that out. You know, I think in 5v5, Jedi Knight Luke lives on this team, hands down,
Yeah.
and it's not going to change anything. In threes, sure, the team becomes JML, Leia, and either
Watt.
Jedi Knight Cal Kestis or Watt if you're playing on defense,
Yeah.
or Hoda. You know, it's going to be a third that's not Jedi Knight Luke, and Jedi Knight Luke is going to have his own little 3v3 team that he, you know, kind of laps up the B teams. And you go, oh, let me
Yeah,
throw Jedi Knight Luke lead, maybe Jedi Knight Cal Kestis and somebody else. And if they put Malgus on defense, they're fucked, you know, or something like that.
yeah, at first I read that and I was like, I had that same reaction. I was like, what the, you know? But the more I read into it, I was like, you know what? This is for 3v3.
Yeah.
They're basically giving you Jedi Knight Luke in 3v3 and saying, use this guy and keep these guys together. So I kind of felt like that was a, hey, good job, CG. That's a smart decision.
Yes, and the
Um,
nice thing is that it's not 3v3, like, it's not like in 3v3, because that
correct.
does allow you, if you want to take Jedi Knight Luke off the team, you might be facing something and say, I don't need Jedi Knight Luke here. I can put Jedi Knight Luke somewhere else, and I can still make use of this in fives. It might not be the best team, but it will do what I need it to do for this situation, and I can use Jedi Knight Luke somewhere else if I want to. In Kyber 1, you might not do that, because in Kyber 1, it's not going to work in fives. In Chromium, it might work very well in Chromium, depending on the teams that you're playing there.
No, yeah, I think this was the more I read it, because I read it like once or twice. I read like, or I should say, I read it like 2 or 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like they covered a lot of the bases. Like I said earlier, they covered a lot of the bases that I felt were very weak about his kit. The
Mm-hmm.
slow ultimate, the him gaining the bonus turn when he hits 100% ult. Because
Yeah.
your ultimate oftentimes I always found, I don't know if I'm the only one that thought this a lot, but it's like, it would always end up coming from his turn. That he would, because he calls the most assists, he's the
Mm-hmm.
fastest. So you would gain it on one of his turns and then would have to wait
Called to someone
again.
else. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but the big thing here is like the potential to beat Hondo and
Okay.
Ahsoka because of the anti-revive and the amount of protection recovery on these teams is
Yeah. So
huge.
Hondo is an interesting shout, because I was trying to think about the revives, and Hondo is a pain in the ass because of those rides. Now, Cobb
Yes.
seems to be maybe the de facto changed leader there, but not everybody has Cobb, and maybe they get Leia. Conquest is weird like that, where I've always thought if you're on top of it, you'll always have the newest guy, and I've learned that's not the case. Some people go, "Oh, I like this character, I'm going to try hard." Oh, I don't like this
Yeah.
character, I'm not going to try as hard. I'm only going to gold crate because I don't want to put in the effort.
Yeah, I think it's also, I think, gonna be a matter of the datacrons that are at play.
Of
If there's a
course.
really powerful Jedi cron, this is gonna completely change whether, and I think, like, does JML go on defense at that point
With what?
because of how good he is? Or you gonna bring him on offense and have a "I'm gonna kill everybody"
Yeah.
kind of, because I've always, the one thing with JML on defense normally was oftentimes very predictable.
Yeah.
That you kinda knew the way the AI was gonna play.
Hmm.
Um, this might change that, but it looks, JML Lifter has been it's been a long time coming, but now I was hoping we'd get here because I wanted to ask you this question.
Okay.
Does this mean Jedi Master Kenobi is now the worst Galactic Legend?
So let me pull back that for 1 second, because I have one more thing to say on the Leia kit, because I did have an epiphany yesterday while reading this. I may or may not have had a gummy, and I may or may not attribute my epiphany to that gummy. But I essentially kind of realized, when CG makes a kit, they're not just throwing shit at the wall. The kits don't always work. The kits are sometimes broken, but they design a kit and they test the kit for a specific counter. So Jedi Knight Luke or not, this kit is going to counter the things specifically that they have decided it's going to counter. It's not like it comes to the game in 3 months and we go, let's find a counter and let's see what it works against that CG never wanted it to do. It's CG decided ahead of time what it should counter and what should counter it. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And even if this clause or that clause or this thing or that thing were in or out, it would still work exactly the same way. Like, that is the reason for the wording and everything. Now, on to Jedi Kenobi, Jedi Master Kenobi. I've been saying for a very long time that Jedi Kenobi is a very strong offensive Swiss Army knife, but is one of the last GL a player should get because all it does is afford you a strong team. It doesn't do anything else. You know, there isn't a lot. There isn't a lot of overlap. There isn't really any assault battle that you can push really hard into. Ground War now, maybe because of Relic Delta. There's no resource event attached to it. And a lot of newer teams are very anti-cat and anti-instant kill. I've been using...
Honestly, better with Ray.
I've been using JMK against, I mean, Cassian now, but before that, New
Yeah.
Vader.
Yeah, like
looking at the GL in the game, Leia fucks. Jabba's starting to fall off, but he still fucks. Lord Vader fucks. Ahsoka now fucks that you're putting Ezra in there. Pirate King Hondo fucks. Rey fucks because of datacrons. Sith Eternal, once you start putting him with C-Bane because of this JML team, I've always been a proponent of C, and I love my C. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren has literally always fucked. I think that you can make a case that JMK is kind of in the weakest position once this comes out. Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I forget, and I was like, man, JMK is literally going to be the worst GL because I was thinking about what I use him against now. Like I
It's all B
hesitate.
teams.
I would almost consider use Afra against Jabba before I would JMK. You know, like, and what GL are you realistically going to use him against? Like when the last time he was really used regularly against a commonplace GL was the Slicker DS Raycron.
Yeah.
When you had the
Shortle
Jedi
and over.
focus datacron to get extra protection up and all the defense and shit to snipe out Rey. Like that was it.
Yeah.
You know, he has everything since he's come out has been about countering him. And
Yes.
for those of you that wonder why, you would need to understand when he came into the game, he was about countering everything. If you wonder why I fucking hate Sith Eternal and shit on him so much, it is because I remember what it was like the minute they took away the Sith Eternal, Night Sister Acolyte, Night Sister Zombie, Sith Assassin cheese from me.
Mm-hmm.
And then they took away the Wat Tambor armor cheese from us because they wanted Kenobi to destroy everything.
And now they're going to take away the Wat Leia cheese.
Yeah, and then they had to ruin the what was the other one? Well, then they released, I should say, they released Lord Vader being like, "Oh, this will counter Kenobi." And it didn't because it just was not good enough back then. So, yeah, like this it kind of makes sense that everything had to be designed to beat him. And now we've kind of come full circle where he once was the pinnacle of GLs and in 3 months' time will be the bottom.
He's going to be in a rough spot. He's still going to be usable, but he's going to be in a very rough spot.
Yeah, like he'll still be like I don't want to be like he's still a Galactic Legend. Like
he's going to be in the same spot that JML is in now, right? Like I use JML every single round, but not against a GL. You know, it's against a B team, it's against an A- team, and that's kind of where my JMK is right now. I didn't use JMK against Jabba because Cassian's probably going to be in the back wall, and so I am going to use it against Cassian, and I'm going to use Afra against Jabba because that's what makes sense with B2 because Grievous fucking blows. Yeah, JMK is going to be in that shithole. JMK needs a second lifter. I'm waiting for the Jabba lifter personally, but JMK is going to need another lifter soon.
Jabba's definitely. It's not. I wouldn't call it falling off of a cliff because I still think Jabba he's still gotten holds for me.
Still useful.
Still very useful.
But starting to fall off.
But I can yeah, you can see it's kind of like Kenobi. You could see the cracks forming.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're at that same place with Jabba where like the cracks are there, and it's just, are you willing to admit that he's kind of fallen off a bit?
Yes, 100%. Do we have anything else? I don't think so. We got the update notes. We got Leia. Obviously Grogu is coming out next week with his little clown car of furry little gremlins. And we'll see how that does in Coliseum with Rada. But otherwise, I think we got everything we wanted to cover tonight.
Yeah. You guys can go check the new datacron set, but I don't know that we
Okay.
need to
Wait. So really quickly, there was one right that we were talking about beforehand. Just real quick, I'm gonna throw this up here. The new datacron set did come out, and what I noticed was the attacker cron. Whenever attacker allies inflict a debuff on an enemy during the turn, they deal bonus damage equal to 10% of that enemy's max health, which can't be evaded. Lord Vader. That's going to be very, 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 very much a pain in the ass with Lord Vader. That's all I have to say, man. I don't know what else. It's gonna be an interesting. I hate rollcrons. I always hate rollcrons. They annoy the hell out of me. This is a double rollcron because it's not light side, dark side, and then rolls. It's rolls on the level 3. It's rolls on the level 6. We've got a Cobb Vanth cron. Oh fuck yes, there is a Jar Jar cron. That does fuck. That fucks real hard. My Relic 10 Gungans are going to fuck something fierce next round, and I'm super fucking pumped about that. But other than that,
Hold on. Have you read the last line of the Jar Jar cron? You need to read that.
If all allies are Gungan at the start of battle, whenever a Jar Jar Binks evades an attack, a random enemy's cooldowns are increased by 1. And a random Gungan allies cooldowns are decreased by 1. I'm telling you, man, my Gungans are going to fuck once I get this cron.
And then hold on, there's one other one. You're missing the best cron of the bunch. You got to scroll down a little bit. It's pretty obvious to see which one it is.
The Ugnaught one, that is like a fucking giant. Yes. I'll read it really quick battle, because I did see it. All right, go ahead. You do it.
Yeah. At the start of battle, if Hondo, Onaka, and Ezra are allies, which, by the way, I just want to take a time out here and say, just fucking reskin this guy and name him Mulch. Or Melch. Just name him Melch already, please, for the love of God. You don't need to release a new one. Just reskin. At the start of each turn, if Hondo has more stacks of ransom than Ugnaught and Ezra gain 2 stacks of ransom, stacking to 50, which all that. And all allies gain 25% defense and offense stacking for the rest of battle. It could stop there, but it keeps going.
These increases persist through defeat. Okay, I read that wrong. I thought like in the next battle, but they still do increase. All right. So if they die, it's still there.
Whenever Ezra assists, he gains dramatic entrance for 1 turn. The strongest ally who doesn't already have it gains frenzy until the start of their next turn, and the weakest ally who doesn't already have it gains tactical genius. Whenever Ugnaught uses a basic ability, dispel all debuffs on all allies, then all allies assist a total of 6 times. Whenever Ugnaught uses a special, dispel all enemy buffs and fracture the target until the start of Ugnaught's next turn, or Ugnaught is defeated. At the start of battle, all allies gain 400%. I can't even make it through. 400% bonus protection and backup plan for the rest of battle. Whenever an ally takes damage, all allies recover 30% health. At the start of battle, if Ugnaught is on offense, allies gain 50% evasion until the end of battle. If there are no Galactic Legends, they gain an additional 50%.
It's basically if these guys
so fucking funny.
I'm gonna tell you right now that this Ugnaught team is gonna be the answer to Gungans, because once the taunt goes down on Phalanx, you're gonna use the basic from Ugnaught on the shield generator and just explode it. You're not gonna fully destroy it, because you, depending on how that works with the 6, then all allies assist a total of like, do they each attack 6 times, or do they attack 2 times each, 3 times each? I don't know, but I think that this is going to be how you defeat the Gungans.
How many times, whenever Ugnaught uses his basic, all allies assist, is there a cap? Like, if he keeps calling himself to assist, is this just going to be like this is going to be like that rebel modifier in Conquest where Sabine fucking sits there and hits you for a minute straight?
Oh my god.
Like,
yeah,
you're just going to watch Ugnaught assist your Hondo 6 times to death.
I'm telling you right now, if you want to beat Gungans next round, you are going to need the Ugnaught DC.
God, I couldn't make it through. It just got worse and
silly.
worse.
It is silly. It's gonna be, and if this is on defense, and there are no other allies, so it has to be. Basically, this has to be on offense, because it has to be the 3, unless it's 3s.
Yeah. 3v3. It'll
in 3v3, people are gonna put this on defense, and the answer is probably gonna be Seer Malicos, because I think they can't be evaded, right? His attacks don't miss.
Or like Malik.
Or like Malik, or even Sith Triumvirate, maybe. Possibly. I'm not 100% sure about that one. But I think Seer Malicos is going to be a given one.
Yeah.
It's going to be... I hate Rollcrons, but there are some silly stuff in here, and my Gungans are... they're going to fuck.
Yeah, overall, I hate support crons for so many reasons, much like you. I think my biggest reason against them is that I think it gives people who... the advantage you get from over-investing in a cron set like this is absolutely ridiculous comparative to the normal set.
Yeah.
But, man, the Ugnaught cron is hilarious. There is a Cobb Banth cron. You guys can go read that. It's not as good as Ugnaught.
This is not Three Scoundrels. 3 Scoundrels will read you every DC, and no one will like it or appreciate it.
But they won't be able to not make it through the Ugnaught cron because they're laughing too much at
something. I think
what killed me was that if there's no GLs, they gain an additional 50% evasion. Like, just an extra fuck you. Like,
they're gonna kill anything unless it cannot miss, unless it has a 100% hit. Yeah, unless it's a 100% hit chance. 100%. It's going to be...
I love it.
Ridiculous. My Gunnigans are gonna fuck. I'm super happy about that, but I'm not excited about the datacrons. I don't want to get into a datacron argument at the 90-minute mark.
Nope.
Are we ready to call it a night?
We had to read that. I mean, that's
I get it. I understand.
Common courtesy.
I got to get my beauty sleep so I can wake up in 6.5 to 7 hours and get this blood test done, man.
Nope.
All right.
I think that was... that's everything I felt we should cover.
Perfect. Then we are there, guys. I don't know what else to say other than just peace out. Have a great rest of your night.